Hello everyone, welcome to True Crime and Tarot. I am Natalie and today's case is based on Rosemarie Bly. As some of you well know, this is a well-known case, especially with her niece. So her niece is actually the well-known Summer Wells that had gone missing about last year, I think it was. And this had been a big uproar in that case also. So more about Rosemarie Bly then. So this is a case that I had researched, done a thorough research in it, and also I've done some tarot card reading involving it as well to see what was what. So Rosemarie Bly, she was born on 16th of the 9th, 1987, and she has been missing since 21st of the 8th, 2009, and she was missing from St. Croix Falls in Wisconsin. She is a white female and she was at the height of 5 foot and she was weighing 110 pounds at the time of her disappearance. And she was wearing a white tank top, green v-neck sweater, some blue jeans and some flip-flop sandals as well at this time she went disappearing. There is to be a car that she was associated with that she had, which was a white 2001 Pontiac Grand Am. And this had the license plate registration number, which was 535 MAB. So she is a white Caucasian female, and she has light brown hair and she has brown eyes also. She does have a tattoo of a pair of cherries that is on her right ankle, and there is in fact a photo of this on the Charlie Project site as well. So she does have some ear piercings and she does have nasal piercings as well, and she do frequently change a lot of her hairstyles. So this frequencing as having her hair cut in different lengths, but the time she disappeared it was cut up to the chin length. So with that then it was a bob hairstyle, and this time she may have had blonde or red hair. So Rosemarie was last seen in St. Croix Falls in Wisconsin, and this was at the time of 7:30 p.m. on August the 21st, 2009, and she had left her home in the 2300 block of River Road to travel 4 or 5 miles to Cushing in Wisconsin. And she went to go to meet her own cousin. So this is what she went and told her husband. She was going to a bar to go and meet up with one of her cousins. And at this time, she had gone and took a white 2001 Pontiac Grand Am. And sometime that night, Rosemarie had contacted her husband to say that she was going to be home roughly by midnight. And as that night had come, she never arrived home. She never went to Cushing to her family where she had 2 little girls. So, however, then she has never been heard from or seen from since her time that she had disappeared. And Rosemarie's car was actually found in a parking lot near the post office in Grantsburg, and this was in Wisconsin 5 days after her disappearance. And there was a lot, this type of lot, this parking lot was normally having a lot of semi-truck drivers that was always hanging around there, and they put things there like their own tractor trailers and other things of that type of things. But where her car was found, it was undamaged. She didn't have no keys. The keys was missing from inside the car. So from there then, there was evidence to show that there was no foul play. Nothing was there, nothing of any evidence to assume, predict, as they say, of a foul play that had gone on. So this was about 13 miles from St. Croix, and it was 15 miles from Cushing. So Rosemarie has family living there, and she had graduated from a high school, which was in Grantsburg, and Rosemarie had left behind a husband and also 2 little daughters, which was up to the age of 2. So they was under the age of 2, and there was no credit cards and no debit cards that Rosemarie had in her name, and she had left home with very little money at this time as well. And Rosemarie's husband later then had gone on to file for a divorce from Rosemarie, and this was literally round about 3 weeks after her disappearance, so not long at all. So they sought a court order then to try and prevent her from coming home, to returning and taking her children, well, their children. But they also did get married in 2009, which was basically the same year she went and disappeared. And this was in February. So their relationship was very troubled from the beginning, as some resources say, and they say that the police had gone to their home and had to intervene at least once, involving some domestic violence that was going on in the home. And they had said that Rosemarie had accused her husband of slapping him, or Rosemarie's husband accused Rosemarie, of slapping him, and she was accused of, doing other things to her husband as well. There was also some saying that she had gone and put her husband into a headlock, and her husband went and put her into headlock. One of them went and put themselves into headlock, and they was hitting each other's head, or one of their heads, on the ground. And also there was a previous file for a divorce in the beginning also, and this was in June 2009, but it was withdrawn. The filing order was after him and Rosemarie had tried to reconcile their own differences within their own relationship and their marriage, to try and get things going, to try and work between each other, to try and make a happy family, especially for the children, because they didn't want to have their children being around toxicity. But also they had gone and had her husband to have a polygraph test, and he actually passed the polygraph test, and he is not considered a suspect in her case. And his divorce petition then was actually granted in 2010, and he has the sole custody of their children, which is the 2 little daughters that they have. So Rosemarie had fell off her horse a week before her disappearance, and it is said that she told her mother that she was having a lot of headaches, and also this was after the accident that she had. And also her mother had gone and advised her to go and see a doctor, to go and have a checkup. And there is no evidence that she went to see this doctor regarding these headaches and these pains that she was constantly having. So Rosemarie's mother had then speculated that her daughter became very disorientated due to her injuries, and that she had wandered away, causing her to disappear into the unknown and not know where she is to this day. But there is also no evidence to actually say or to support any theory regarding these injuries that Rosemarie had. But also in June 2021, Rosemarie's 5-year-old niece, Summer Wells, like I had said in the beginning, she had disappeared. And this was when she had disappeared from her home in Tennessee. And this is a very well-known case. I have actually done this case. She was actually my first case. Her case had actually inspired me to do these cases that I'm doing today. And I just had this certain urge to actually do it, and I find it absolutely crazy that I'm actually doing a Angie's case today. But I really hope that justice gets served and Summer Wells will come home, and also Rosemary could come home, or there is to be some justice for them both. Anyhow, also there is never been found. So some have never been found, Rosemarie has never been found, and the two cases are not thought to be related or to have that similarity, so to speak, except for the disappearances. But they both remain unsolved to this day. So the investigators started a search then for Rose, where they believed that she had been the night before, where she had said to her husband, which was at the bar with her cousin, and this is where it had gone from with the investigators. So they delved deep and they tried looking at CCTV footage and all things that they could find to see if it was actually correct, if she did actually go to that bar that night. But there was actually something that was very, very surprising that the investigators had actually noticed. So where she was supposed to have been at the bar with her cousin that night, they learned that Rose and her cousin never had any plans to go to the bar that night and never to meet up. So this is one strange surprise for them. So what it was then, Rose's story may have been a cover-up for something else. Or is there to be that the husband actually covered it up and said that this is where she said, no, he's the one that's saying it, when actually is far from the truth. This is where the investigators and the police all had these questions. So the law enforcement then, they had begun questioning the husband. They was thinking the husband must be lying. What have gone on? So they started questioning everyone that knew Rose and not really finding any leads of that nature. But there were tips that would come in locally saying to the missing persons unit that some mistaken identity or some unconfirmed, there was some domestic violence at home. Some people say that Rose's husband was actually the one that was the abusive one, and some say that it was Rose that was the most domestic violent person in that household. There was some form of a documentation that had for Rose's arrest, and it doesn't mean to say that he was not taking any part in the physical fights where Rose was going to meet her cousin in Cushion or going to a birthday near her house. There is no logical explanation that anyone knows how her car ended up in Grantsburg, 25 miles away from her home and another 15 miles away from Cushion. So where Christopher filed for a divorce after Rose's disappearance, some say that this is very, very suspicious. And they also say that this is an action due to a guilty husband, and other points out that legally it was something that he had done to protect himself and he had to protect the children. So Rose had a pending court case happening when she had disappeared, and there is an active warrant out for her arrest. This is regarding a misdemeanor, disorderly conduct and domestic violence charge. So many have wondered if this had played a role in her disappearance. So was she trying to avoid going to court or possibly jail? So this is what I had found out from some resources. Now it's my time where I had done some deep concentration, meditated on some cards to see what is what about this case. And there's 4 questions I ask in every single video that you see. 4 questions. So number 1, what happened to Rosemarie Bly? 2, who was involved in Rosemarie Bly's disappearance? 3, where is Rosemarie Bly now? And 4, what is the final outcome to be for Rosemarie Bly's case? So, number 1, what happened to Rosemarie Bly? and the first card that came out was the 8 of Pentacles. So there was being at work or doing some sort of work to get paid. So doing something to get paid. There was a lot of determination and concentrating on new things that was to come in for Rosemarie. And there was a very important decision that was to be made. Reverse 6 of Swords. So there was a personal or spiritual transition and leaving behind a relationship and things that no longer served Rosemarie. Something had been forced upon Rosemarie. There was the sense of an unfinished business or an unresolved conflict. 9 of Wands. There was some adversity and standing strong and being very resilient, persisting and being ready to do whatever it takes to make her happy and to see some results. There was a struggle and trying to stay strong. Someone had made things very difficult for Rose, and they was also very jealous of Rose. Reversed Hangman. So Rose was stuck and restricted because of someone. Reversed Temperance. There was the form of imbalance and risky business that she was involved in someone's drama and not listen to her partner. This is what happened. There was also a lot of rows that was entailed here as well. Okay, Chariot card. So there was the sense of willpower and determination and laying down some boundaries and going traveling. There was a vehicle that was involved that had a big significance in this case. 10 of Wands. There was a lot of burdens and there was a lot of responsibilities, and Rose was tied down with them. They was working hard, like extra hours, and being very much weighed down. Reverse Queen of Wands. So Rose had become more introverted than usual, than like being a social butterfly, and she was being very much alone, and she tried to rebuild herself to try and discover who she truly is. Who was involved in the disappearance of Rosemarie Bly? Reverse 9 of Wands. There was a lot of struggles and challenges and had a lack of support. They were very paranoid and defensive, and they felt as if they were under attack. Death card. So there was an ending or a death or a new beginning and leaving the past behind. Empress. There was pleasure, expressing oneself and living very comfortably near some nature. There is a motherly energy, and this could be involvements to do with a pregnancy. 8 of Swords. There was feelings of being trapped and restricted in some circumstance. There may be an abusive relationship that was involved. 7 Pentacles. There was energy that they was putting into getting a long-term reward and results, and all their hard work had started to pay off, and they was very frustrated but tried being patient. Devil. Someone had addiction, habit, dependencies, and there was someone having a hold over someone else. There was a very unhealthy codependent relationship. Lovers card. So there was a couple that may have been having an affair, where there was a good connection and choosing what they wanted and being very honest with one another. Ace of Cups. There was a lot of love and compassion and an invitation or a love offer. There was a relationship that was to blossom and may involve in a pregnancy. So see, there's 2 cards that indicated a pregnancy for some specific reason. Reverse Hermit. There was the need to try and rebuild oneself and taking isolation a bit too far. Chariot. There was a travel and laying down some boundaries involving a car again. 10 Wands. There was burdens and responsibilities and working extra hours. 4 Swords. There was taking some time out to have some rest and to recharge. There may have been some stress or heartbreak or a breakup or some family issues. Where is Rosemarie Bly now? Ace of Swords. There is to be a breakthrough and starting anew, and there is to be some justice that is to be sought. King of Pentacles. So she's with a man who is a new lover and is a father figure that also may be a business owner. Reverse Five of Cups. There has been some suffering of disappointments and some personal setbacks. Also, there is feelings of being guilty and ashamed. Reverse King of Swords. There is a male who manipulates and takes advantage by using his own charm. Nine of Swords. So she's been kept up at night with fears of anxiety and wants to try and reach out for some support. Nine of Cups. There is to be a temporary indulgence without guilt and also feeling smug or feeling a bit pleased. Three of Wands. There's plans for the future from a place of safety and also comfort. And there is to be a travel over water. Reverse Five of Wands. There is some internal conflict and being unclear where she stands with some issues. Feelings of shall I stay or shall I go? There is to be a sigh of relief after a struggle and not having to prove herself anymore in a relationship. Page of Wands. There is to be starting a new journey and see where things takes her, and to be very curious and to be intrigued. Reverse Knight of Cups. So there was something that someone wanted to take action on but ain't ready yet. Someone is very moody and very jealous. Knight of Wands. There is to be a new idea and is willing to move forward and bring her visions into reality. She's to be bold and courageous to go out into the unknown. What is the final outcome to be for Rosemarie Bly's case? We have Reverse World. There is to be some personal issues that needs closure. That is to do with a past relationship. Reverse Page of Pentacles. There is to explore something but not being ready for it to move forward. There is to be learning from past mistakes also. Six of Pentacles. There is to be sharing or inclined to give someone something and to be happy to share it with others. Six of Swords. There is to be a travel over water and to leave someone and something behind. There is to be acceptance to change and to leave the past behind for good. Queen of Wands. There is to be courageous, determined and to share with others. There is to be around nature and doing things that she puts her mind to. And also there is not going to be afraid of anyone anymore. Reverse Page of Swords. There is to be holding back from speaking some truths. Okay then, so that is the case of Rosemarie Bly. If you enjoy my videos, please like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And until next time,